Ricciardo will leave McLaren at the end of 2022, 1 year earlier than contracted, after the squad opted to recruit rookie Oscar Piastri. Ricciardo's options for 2023 are ostensibly dwindling, with Alpine not understood to be interested in rehiring the Australian, leaving very few vacancies, most notably at Williams and Haas. Speaking ahead of the Singapore Grand Prix, Ricciardo said that I'm still keen to be part of Formula One and that of course Plano would be on the grid, but as I said, I don't want to just jump at the first seat available. My team is talking to pretty much everyone and they are having conversations. So we are just trying to put it all together and figure out what makes the most sense. We are just doing our due diligence and figuring out what's best. Trying to see beyond next year, because for me I won't be racing but also don't want to be just looking at the next 12 months and not the next 24. Nicholas Latifi is entering his final months at Williams. At the end of the season, both parties will part ways. The Canadian must therefore look for a new challenge, but first and foremost balks at the current situation. He told this to Sky Sports and others during the press conference. It's obviously disappointing news. I would like to stay in Formula One. It's what I worked for my entire life, Latifi said. I would like to stay in Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsport, but we know this sport is performance-based. Fernando Alonso believes Max Verstappen's second Drivers' Championship will make him an all-time great at the age of 25. Verstappen turns 25 on Friday and can match Alonso's tally of 32 race victories and 2 World Championships at this weekend's Singapore Grand Prix. Given the Dutchman would become the 17th driver to win multiple Formula One titles and move into the top 6 of all-time winners with a victory, Alonso believes it puts Verstappen alongside the sport's greats. I think so, yes, Alonso said. He's 24 or 25, no. So there's still a lot in front of him, but I wish him more luck than me because I was also 26 with those stats and still have the same stats at 40. But I'm sure with Red Bull and how things look for the future, he will only get better. It's very well deserved. They were the best team and the best driver by far, so when they win it I don't think is an important thing, it's just that they will. Whether it's here or Japan, let's see. According to reports from motorsport.com, the rules around porpoising will be changed for this weekend. This is said to be because Singapore is a much bumpier circuit than most other races on the calendar. The only problem is that the aerodynamic oscillation metric is set based on average power per distance. That is fine on a flatter track, but on a track that is a bit bumpier, like Singapore, for example, that limit would therefore be exceeded even if the cars are not affected by porpoising at all. The FIA is therefore going to adjust the aerodynamic oscillation metric this weekend, the media reports. The calculation will be adjusted in such a way that bumps and spikes in the track are not taken into account, so that only what the car itself does is considered. In practical terms, this means increasing the maximum value by 7G. In this way, teams should be able to stay within the new limits and thus not incur a penalty. Mercedes will embark on a new relationship with their name partner, Petronas, from the 2026 season. New technical regulations are coming into force in 4 years, which will see engines powered by sustainable fuel. This fuel is synthetic, and it is carbon neutral, so it does not emit any more carbon than the amount used to create the fuel in the first place. The new concept is what has attracted German manufacturers, Porsche and Audi, who would like to champion sustainable power, and the clean slate of regulations will allow them to start on the front foot in 2026. Mercedes have been working with Petronas since their return to Formula One in 2010 with the Malaysian oil and gas company. Pat Symonds has played down fears that Formula One will shift down a gear with the all-new engine regulations of 2026. Although Porsche is now stepping away from Formula One following the collapse of the Red Bull talks, Audi has signed up for 2026 and now there are rumors Honda is contemplating a full return. Automotor and Sport also reports that Hyundai and Ford may be eyeing the June 2023 deadline for new engine manufacturers to sign up for Formula One in 2027. However, there are fears the new rules will considerably slow down the cars. Currently, only 163 horsepower of electrical power is available to the teams, but from 2026, a whopping 475 horsepower will be able to be generated by the hybrid side. The concern is that the 2026 manufacturers will struggle to achieve that. The cars will be snails, just like the first hybrid power units in 2014, a source is quoted as saying by Automotor and Sport. They'll have to get off the gas halfway down the straight to regenerate the energy. Pat Symonds, who is Formula One's second chief technical officer, said those fears are completely unfounded. We don't expect any losses on a qualifying lap, he insisted. In the race, lap times will certainly increase a little at first.